When I first got an iPad and I started digital lettering, I hated it because I had seen all these tutorials all over the internet about how to use Procreate and how to make this amazing looking thing. And then as soon as I opened the app and I tried it, it looked awful because I didn't know what I was doing. So in this tutorial, I'm going to show you guys how I use Procreate and just some tips that I wish I knew at the beginning. So starting out, you're going to need the Procreate app, obviously, and then you're also going to need an Apple Pencil. I don't know about other styluses, if they work. I've always used an Apple Pencil. It's a great investment. You can just use it for so many different design purposes, so I would recommend. Anyway, I'm opening up a new canvas here in Procreate, and the first thing you're going to want to do if you want to do lettering is make yourself a custom brush. The Procreate brushes that are kind of in the app and just the standard ones, they're not bad, they're not terrible or anything, but you can see that when you're writing, it's just kind of this monoline style. And that's not to say that it's bad, but if you want that graduated calligraphy effect where some strokes are thin, some strokes are thin, and it looks like you used a dip pen, you're gonna need to make a custom brush. Here I am just demonstrating how not good the brush is, I guess, but it like low-key looks way better on camera than it did in the actual real life example. Okay, so first thing you're gonna do is go into brush library, click new brush. You're gonna have this kind of like round brush standard default. It's already pretty good, but you just want to do a few small adjustments. Go up into streamline, and I usually put it around 70-75%. You really just have to play around with it, and this is something you can adjust later on after you've tried out the brush. Taper, you want to make sure that it doesn't have any taper on, so just make that at 0. And then shape, you're going to go into shape source, go into import, source library. Why the heck did my camera go to focus there? Wow, okay. Anyway, go into oval, done, voila, there you go. And once you've done that, you can see that it kind of looks like a ribbon type of brush, which is cool. It definitely has a cool effect, but it's not the effect that we're going for to just make a basic calligraphy brush. I don't know why I spent so long scribbling on this pad. Okay. Moving on. The next thing we're going to adjust is Apple Pencil. You want to make sure that your size is at about 60%. This one's at 61. Oh, wow, okay, I brought it down to 50% later. Honestly, I think it's somewhere between like 50 and 80. You should probably be good. It depends how thick and thin you want your strokes to be. And then just bring the opacity down. And there you go. That's how you make a Procreate lettering brush from scratch. Now, obviously, there are a ton of brushes that you can get online that are pre-made, but I think the best way to kind of learn your own style, learn how the brushes work, and just kind of get a good understanding of the app Procreate itself is to just make your own brushes, and you can follow people's tutorials. There's so many all over YouTube, but this is just kind of like a basic tutorial of how to make a brush from scratch. You can see here it looks really smooth, and then if it's just a bit choppy, you can always adjust the streamline or the pressure settings and customize it to whatever you like. If you want your brush to have a bit more of a rustic look and make it less streamlined, you can always turn down the streamline, but that's kind of what I like to keep it at. I'm going to take a quick break right here to thank the sponsor of today's video. Thank you so much to Paperlike for sponsoring this video. I've been using the Paperlike 2.1 screen protector as well as the Apple Pencil grips for a little while now, and let me just say they have made a massive difference in how I work and just the quality of my work as well. The Paperlike 2.1 screen protector is pretty similar to the Paperlike 2, but it has a few new advanced features. When I say that this screen protector is like the best thing that has ever happened to my iPad, I am not lying. It has this really interesting texture that almost kind of grips your Apple Pencil and just makes it so much easier to write and draw and create. Installation's also super simple. I am so bad with tech stuff, but I got this figured out and it went pretty smooth. The Apple Pencil grips come in 2 sizes for different needs, and I have been having way less hand cramps and I think just better precision when I'm drawing because of this. Overall, I just love Paperlike and their products have really helped me, so I hope you do too. You can click the link in the description to try out them today. Thanks again to Paperlike for sponsoring this video. Okay, so you might be like, Leah, I have a brush, but I don't know how to use it, so let's show you. Basically, in calligraphy, in lettering, whatever you want to call it, you want your downstrokes to be thick and your upstrokes to be thin. So basically, the best way to practice this is just do a bunch of lines going up, make them thin, a bunch of lines going down, make them thick. And the way you do this is just use more pressure to make the thick areas and then use less pressure to make the thin areas. For the last part of this video, I just wanted to walk you through an example of kind of an easy piece or exercise that you can try to make. Basically, I started out by making my background just a bit darker, making a new layer. One thing with Procreate is it's really important to always work in layers. It's better to have more layers than less so that you can always select things separately. And then I just wrote good vibes. I kind of just moved around the top layer and then tried to space in the letters. This was just kind of a quick example, so it's a bit scrappy, it's a bit kind of all over the place, but you can see here, good vibes, yeah, voila. And then just kind of moved it around, resized it. I love Procreate in the way that it's just super easy to resize things, and you can always select things and move them onto different layers. Let me know below in the comments if you want a tutorial for that or any other Procreate things that you would like to learn. I'm not a pro at it, but I have been using it for a while, so I know how to use it. And then I went and used this really cool technique to make a drop shadow. So you're gonna go ahead and duplicate the layer and then bring that layer to the back and fill it with a lighter color. And then once you've done that, you can just zoom in and kind of adjust the layer, that's not how you say adjust the layer, and it looks something like this. You can always fill it in and voila. And then because I'm Leah and because I cannot leave well enough alone, I had to go in and add some little sparkles just to fill up the gap. You don't have to do this. I like to add little doodles just to make your piece look a little bit cooler, a little bit more personalized. You can kind of develop your style like this. And yeah, that's an example of just a very easy piece that you can do with the techniques that you learned. Hopefully this video was helpful and you learned something. Let me know what other kinds of tutorials or videos you want to see in the comments. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Oh, and be sure to subscribe because that's what I'm supposed to say as a YouTuber.